to this show. This is the first episode that we are shooting, and we're very excited to have you here.
Yes.
I mean, we used to have these conversations every Tuesday, as you said, but this is going to be a little special because we have some questions that we always wanted to ask you,
Right.
and we never found an opportunity to ask you.
Great.
I think this is the right opportunity to ask you. So I want to start off from your Nasik days.
Yes.
So that's something that we'll all cherish our memories,
Absolutely.
childhood memories. We all love
Absolutely.
that. We all wanted to relive that. So I wanted to tell me something about how was your childhood. How did you, where did you grow up? How was your time in Nasik, and how did you come back? How did you land up in Bangalore?
Bangalore.
Yeah.
So great. So first of all, thank you. I mean, you and I have had, like you said, many conversations.
Correct.
But I think they have just between the two of us, and where we've had genuine, meaningful conversations. But there are things that you're asking that we've never asked. So I've had a beautiful childhood. I think I owe it to my parents. I am the eldest of 3 siblings. So I was never alone. At any given point in any argument, you will always have one sibling on your side, right? So that's a fantastic feeling.
Who was it?
Either my brother or my sister, depending on what they were going to get from me at that time. Yeah. So
There's always something to catch.
yes,
Yeah.
there always is. Yeah. But as you're growing up, you know. So also, I was born and brought up in a place called Divlali.
Okay.
So when you normally say Divlali, the first reaction I get is Devanali.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, no, it was not a Halli, but it was not a city either. So it's an A-grade cant town,
Okay.
which is bang in the middle of Pune and Mumbai.
Okay.
And my mum is a teacher.
Okay.
My father he works with the MOD, he used to work with the MOD, the MAS. So, and it's a cant town, so it's an army cant.
Okay.
Yeah. So I always...
So you're this army girl who...
Yeah, brought up in an arty center,
Yeah,
but very away from, so the culture of Olive is very much imbibed. I always say that if you see my nerves, as you can see actually, it's like, you know, but I think a very balanced, a very firm, strong upbringing, and I owe it to my father and my mother for giving us the best of everything, but ensuring that it never went to our head. So I think that. I am a convent educated girl, and no telling you that that can
Sisters
yes,
always,
yes, and I think it's a beautiful place to be, especially if you're in a small town, and then a very dangerous place to be if your mum is a math teacher in the same school.
Same school.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's
So
terrible.
yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you don't love math,
Okay.
and your
That's
mother.
added to that
That's the
terribleness.
benefit. Yeah. So everyone, all your teachers look at you and they say, "Visa teacher's daughter." Yeah, really, and then that kind of
Score
pressure.
a certain marks or something.
You're supposed
There's
to
a
be
benchmark
a
already
certain
set,
way.
yeah.
You're supposed to be a certain way because you're her daughter,
Okay.
and she's like top of the game. She looks the way she does, and
There's
she.
always constant pressure that you had.
Not pressure. I think it was always about matching up to her.
Okay.
Right, you know, to be like her, to be like my father. So, but I think where my sister and brother scored, I failed. Yeah, terribly. So I was the one who was literally scraping the maths. Yeah, to a point where I remember my teacher, my maths teacher. He's still there. No, he's there, and his name is Falkesa. And he would always look at me and he's saying, "Really, you're Fiza teacher's daughter." And recently, yeah, how can you be like that? And recently, when I met with him about a year and a half ago, and I was so excited about telling him like I run my own business, and he's looking at me, he's saying, "Are you sure?"
And you're doing trading.
Yeah, and I'm in the foreign exchange business, and he had this very shocked and dismayed look, like, what is she doing, and how does she land up doing this, you know? Because I mean, so that was it. But I think out and out, I had a very secure, a very happy, childhood. It has a lot to do with the community. Divlali is a very small place. So the community was a very happy community. I think my sense of this strong sense of belonging that I have, and the kind of value that I have for relationships, I think comes from the fact that I come from there. So I owe a lot to to my place, to Divlali, to my neighbors, to my school, to my friends, to the community. So I always say that it takes a village to raise the child. So that village raised this child, So that's how it is.
And after from Nasik, I think you moved. I heard you moved to Switzerland.
Yeah, I studied.
I did. There, and then you came back to Bangalore.
Yes, I got married and I came here. Yeah.
You got married at the age of 18.
I married very young.
Very young.
Yeah.
So you have to tell me the story why you got married.
No,
What made you,
Yeah.
were you in love with Satya, or
Yeah.
how did it go up?
Yeah.
Like,
So,
was it an arranged marriage?
yeah, so that's something that I really, you know,
You'll have to- this is going to be candid.
yeah, candid, yeah. So I married and I came here,
Yeah.
and it was something that was arranged, you
Yeah.
know, by both our parents. It
No,
was.
and before that, I also want to ask you. We had this conversation.
Yeah.
You always wanted to be a nun.
Yes,
At
I
some
do.
point of time, you wanted
Yes,
to be a
yes,
nun,
yes.
And then you got married.
Yeah.
After that, you went to Switzerland. So there's a lot of things that
Lot of
happened
things, yeah.
in
So
a very
I
short
think,
span of time.
Like I said, you know, I think it comes from the fact that I have, you know, I've always dealt with, you know, so that you deal with the cards you're dealt with. And for me, I think I had always this sense of, I've always been a very quiet child.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always looked at meanings of finding things. I look at things differently. And growing up in a convent where, you know, this is the school, and that's the convent.
Correct.
So you have always had these young novices go in and out,
Yeah.
and you're like, what kind of a life is that? What do they think? How do they think? Am I?
Explore
Yeah, I want to explore that. So I did, you know, I did, and then I think I remember a very clear conversation that my mum had, and she said, no, there is more to life, you know. And I think, yeah, many things happened, but I think marriage and coming to Bangalore has been the crux of the change that came about in my life, because till then I always believed that I was an extremely protected child, you know. So when I look at the things, my sister is, she is somebody who's wonderful. She's a very, very strong person. Her name is Lovely. She's not just strikingly beautiful, but she's also a very strong person. Right.
So she was always there.
She was always there. So I mean, even today, if I have something that I need to speak, if I want to understand something, that's the first number I'm dialing. You know, even today, I think she is the conscience, or the, how do you say, the balance striker. And she's extremely candid about giving it to you, even if you don't want to hear it. Like, this is how it is, you can decide. So I think that, having that, and then, so coming from that background, knowing that you had a very safe, secure childhood, and then you had to make decisions which are outside of the sphere of everything you've ever done. And Bangalore was very new to me. One, in terms of language. Also, the family that I married in was a new culture. So I'm coming from a different, diverse culture. My parents come from two different, beliefs, religious beliefs. They come from two different political beliefs. They also come from two different, extremely diverse upbringings, right? And then coming to a family which is more diverse than what all of us were put together. Yeah. So
quite new environment.
Yes, but I think for me that is something which I cherish. I suffocate in monotony. I suffocate in monotony. I am always striving to see something, or do something which is different and new. Yeah, but I'm not saying that it has to be extremely diverse. But I think I inch out of my comfort zone. So I always have one leg in here.
Challenging activity, you say? You will always want to see something new, try something new.
So I mean, challenge is a very large word. So like I said, I've got one foot in my comfort zone, and I will put one foot outside. I will never lose ground.
And that's very comfortable for you.
Yeah, that's comfortable. So at any given time, and then that foot is comfortable. And then I will put this foot in here, and then I will put the other foot out.
It's always been there.
So this is who I am. I love to work inside of my comfort zone, but always explore, something which frightens me. I love, I love something that scares me.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So 18 years you got married, and after that it's been 18 years that you're in business.
Yes.
So it's quite a journey that you had.
Yes.
So we just thought, this is a random question. Somebody from my team asked, if you wanted to do a movie out of this, what is that movie going to be called? Who's going to act this movie, and why do you want that particular person to act that particular movie?
Yeah. So I'm going to call it The Money Train.
Okay. The Money Train.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two things.
That's because you're in forex and
yes,
also in...
I mean, two things I love.
Or also in transit business.
I love money.
Yeah.
And I love trains.
Okay.
So I call it The Money Train.
Yeah.
And if the question is who's going to act in it, I think it's going to be me. Because nobody does a better job than me, than being myself. Yeah. And what am I going to do? I'm going to be in the first class luxury coupe, having a nice cup of black tea.
That's how you were going to start?
Yeah, that's how my life is going to be, because it took effort to get the train running. I've done that.
Yes.
Now you've got people who know how to run the engine.
Enjoy the journey.
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, I believe that if you worked very hard for what you have, then I don't think that you should shy away
Correct.
from wanting the good things in life.
Perfect.
Why should you?
Yeah. You should.
You should. I mean, you got the train running.
Yes.
You put it on
so
track.
much effort to get the train running. I mean, that's
And now
something that
now
enjoy
you've got the right people to run the train,
Correct,
right? So you don't know how to maybe run the engine, but you've hired somebody who can do that for you. And you've got somebody, who's taking care of everything else in the train. Then why would you worry?
Correct.
And why would you not sit in your first class coupe and have a nice cup of black tea?
Absolutely. Annie, this train has taken you to many cities.
Absolutely.
It's taken you from Kochi, from Calcutta to
Jaipur, to Dunas, Delhi,
to
yes.
different places in the country,
yes.
and also outside. Obviously, you've expanded your
Yes.
business outside, 1,400 locations,
Yes.
as you say. So this is quite a journey, and in this 18 years of this journey, I'm very sure there's going to be a lot of moments that you felt, wow, this is the moment that I wanted.
Yes.
I have lived for, right?
Yes.
There's a moment when Dhruv was born.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm going to keep that outside because I'm very sure you're going to tell that.
Yes.
So I want to know this wow moment of yours when it comes to business.
Yes.
When it comes to your forex business or the transit business.
Yes. Yes.
What is the wow moment that you felt? Was it any particular deal that you wanted to do for a very long time, or was it anything that was there that you felt, wow, this is something that I know I'm in the right place?
So honestly, I think every day when I get up, is that wow moment for me. I can promise you that. In fact, I was just talking to my husband in the morning, and I said when I get up in the morning and when my feet hit the floor,
You're alive.
That's like I cannot tell you the rush I feel, because I believe that my feet have hit the floor. I can go running now. I mean, it's like the rubber meets the road sort of a feeling for me. But I think more than that, every day I believe that there is something that I'm going to set and achieve. It's not something momentous. It could just be getting through the day without, maybe having a conversation which is making somebody else uncomfortable. Momentous. Going through the day, maybe with we're doing something good for somebody, or meeting somebody randomly who keeps reminding me of something good. Those are great moments. But if you're talking about business per se, then I think the biggest thing that ever happened to us was when we opened our Bombay office for Poundwize. Because whether you like it or not, it is the financial capital.
Correct.
You always, you go to meet other people. You go to meet other foreign exchanges there. You go to meet, a Thomas Cook. You go to meet a Centrum, and you're walking into these fancy offices on these 4th Street roads. And somewhere inside of you is that, that entrepreneur who's just starting and then said, when is it going to be my turn? And the day it really was my turn, I think that was a very momentous. It was a very happy. When I think about it, you can actually see how it's a year-to-year smile. But it was a beautiful day to be able to see your name alongside of all of these large names, which have taken years to come there. Your journey has been shorter, so you have some sort of unmerited grace. That I always say. Yes, it is. I'm honestly telling you. So if you ever believe that you got all of this because you deserved it, I think that's the biggest fallacy. Whilst you're working hard, the other person's also working hard, but there is something or somebody that worked in your favor more than it did in the other person's, and that's why you're here. So just grace, and you're there. And then I think the second thing was when we did our first order for Bullseye. And to see those trains, oh my God! I think when I'm speaking about it, I can still feel that butterfly in my stomach. That we did that, we did that. Like I don't know nothing about nothing, and I'm standing here and saying, "This is mine." This is who we are, and look how we started. And that's why I said when things. I always say this, and I don't. You must have heard me say this. That I believe that I'm God's special child. I'm God's favorite child. People can contest it for all they like, but this is what I say, because when you go back and see the things that have happened to me, and at the pace that they have happened to me, and at the at the joy that they've brought me, I think it can only happen to me, and it can only happen if God truly loves you. And so those are the two things.
So that Mumbai thing and the train.
Absolutely.
Your branding on train. And
Think about it. About 120 trains
Correct.
with a small bullseye logo.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking,
Wow.
how did that happen?
How did that happen?
Yeah,
We've done something, right?
Yeah, look
We've done
at this.
something.
I mean, look at
Coming from
it.
Nasik and all the way to Bangalore,
Yeah.
starting up. You said you started it overnight, like 3 days you had time.
Yes, I mean,
to clean up
think,
something.
and then imagine the kind of diversity. So I always say this, that Mukesh, Jeetu and I are, we're three literally people who are like chalk and cheese. If you put us together in the room, we agree on nothing. And then we agree on everything. Yeah, if you've known us, we're different in personalities. But I think the one thing that drives the three of us is honesty to our craft, honesty to the people who are part of our teams, and this sheer hunger, not just to do things for ourselves, but also be able to impact everybody else on the team. So this is something which unites us. Outside of us, we're divided as hell.
Yeah, you still must be that Nasik girl.
Absolutely, absolutely. I, whether you like it or not, I am this small town girl in my head and heart, and I believe that you know,
the small moments also. Like
absolutely,
moments,
absolutely. I think for me, small things make big differences. Small moments are the momentous ones, and you know, small things in relationships matter a great deal.
So Annie, I know this entire business of maybe Poundwize or Forex, Nafex for that matter. It's more of trading, everyday trading about currencies and all those things. It's a fast world that you're in. And when I see you, you're a completely different person. You're very calm, composed, and that's the kind of image that you put up. I mean, I don't know whether that's the same thing that's running inside you, or is it that you want to be very calm, the personality that you want to put out is very calm, or is it that you have some techniques that to keep yourself calm? Because it's a very fast world, and business is very fast, it's very aggressive, there's a lot of tension that's going on, there's market ups and downs that's happening every now and then.
Loss and gains are massive.
How do you keep yourself calm? How do you keep that composure? How does it happen to you?
Right, so so when you ask about me being calm and composed and whether I put out this image because, you know, it helps me, this is who I am. So for me, being calm, or you know, it's not composure, it's just I'm very settled.
Okay.
It takes a lot to stir me. I'm very settled. It's not that I don't get worried, or it's not that I don't get nervous about things, or it's not that I don't get a sleepless night, but I don't think that I give it more weightage than something I can control. So there are things you can control, and I think this is it might sound very cliche, that things you can control and things you can't control, you react, you don't respond, all of those things. But this is who I respond to things. I respond to them because I believe that reacting to them is not going to change anything. Right? Is it going to change anything?
It's not going to change.
So responding gives me a little more time to think in a perspective where it's going to be more positive in terms of impact. I'm more solution focused. So I'm not looking for an outburst. I'm not looking to say, oh my God, why this happened. It's happened.
It's happened. Now how do we deal with this?
Yeah, and you can only deal with it if you can look at it with perspective, right? And perspective doesn't come in a reaction. Perspective comes in a response. And for you to respond, you have to take that moment, right? And when you take a moment, that's what I do, I take a moment. So if you realize, I never answer. I always take a moment.
Take a moment, you take a pause.
Yeah, I take a pause. And I take lots of pauses. Because I'm in no hurry. Where do I have to go? It's not going to solve anything if I'm just going to answer randomly. I'm not going to answer things to make you happy. I'm going to find an answer to find a solution. So if you're talking about in terms of composure, whether I'm putting it out there, this is who I am. Yeah, because I believe that you remember when we're having a conversation.
This is the same pace that you have at home and at work.
Yeah,
so
I do.
Are you the strict mom at home?
No, I am a very strict mother. I mean, Dhruv will tell you that. So Dhruv's father is the one who spoils him rotten, and then he has a grandmother to do that, and then he has his, you know, Dodappa to do that, and then he also has my sister, my brother, my mum. So he's got truckloads of people who are pampering him and telling me, it's all right, no worry. So there has to be at least some sort of balance on the other side. Yes, I'm that one. Yeah, so I don't love him less. I think he is the very...
You're the one who's actually giving him some direction, some...
No, I think in terms of direction, everybody in the family is doing that in their own subtle way. Because like I believe that what I'm able to teach him, his grandmother is teaching him much more. What I say to him and what my sister says to him are two different things, but the intention is that he prosper, that he do better, he turn out and live a stronger, healthier life. But when it comes to being a strict mother, I make no bones about it, I am one. I've had a very strict mother and I'm very grateful, because who I am today is because of who she was. And I think the same thing applies for me. And I always say that to Dhruv, that maybe today you're like, oh mama, give me some space sort of a thing, but maybe 3 years from now, maybe you think of me differently. So yes, I am a strict mother, but I'm not a tough mother.
Okay. So you're somebody whom he can convince if he is right?
He can have any sort of conversation with me.
If he is right, he can convince
yes,
you. Yeah.
He's a master at convincing. And I think it's a trait that, I have, so I really can't complain. Yeah, can you? It's like, so yes. I mean, so if I chide him for that, then somewhere I have to look in the mirror and answer myself as well, right? So I think, that's me. That's me. So I'm always cribbing about how he doesn't look like me. He's like 6 feet 1 inch. I'm like, I have to talk to him like that, right? He's built differently. He's also very strong physically. So when I look at him, I don't see any physical attribute. I mean, people do say that we have the same smile, but then I don't know.
You do have.
Yeah. So outside of that, so I mean, you don't get a 19-year-old boy's smile.
I think apart from the smile, he's gone towards.
Absolutely, his father. Absolutely, his father.
I met him recently during the celebrations.
Yes.
That's when I noticed. This is.
Yeah, it's his out and out. So I mean, and you don't expect a 19-year-old boy to smile around his mother all the time. So you don't see that, right? But what I find is his astute sense of right and wrong. It's there, and I think that comes about because he understands that he's accountable, he's answerable. Just because he's the only child.
That's a trait that he has picked up from you.
Yes.
I'm not wrong.
I think from everybody. We'll give that credit to everyone.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever you're saying, this personality actually reflects what you are.
Yeah.
I mean,
I am.
I've seen this in you, the qualities that you're saying. I think that's more or less that he's stating. He's picked up these cues from you.
Yeah, maybe. I'm just grateful if he turns out like that. So like if you say, I am calm, okay. I am not somebody who can be easily pushed. You cannot rattle me, because I believe I will not give you that power. To me, getting rattled, getting pushed around is saying, here, this is me, Chengappa, please, do as you like. This is me, take the power from me. And I am very possessive about my power. I am not giving it to anybody.
Yeah. I just wanted to know, this is again coming from somebody from my team. If it was not Forex, if it was not the 3-day conversation that you had with Jitu and Mukesh, if it was not that you coming to Bangalore for and you got married and you moved to Bangalore, if not any of these, what was Annie going to do?
Okay, you're not going to believe this, but Annie was going to be a homemaker. I think there is no greater power than a powerful woman who has decided to make a home and run a home. And I think the kind of influence that a homemaker can have, not just on her children, on her spouse and her family, but also on society as a whole. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful journey that very few of us take the pride to take. But if you think of your grandmom, if you ever think of my grandmother, I think of my mother-in-law, I think of so many homemakers that I know. These are very powerful women, and the kind of joy that you get when you can build something, when you can save money at home, and you can create dreams for your children, you can guide them. You can help them with their homework, and you can also balance, let's go out for dinner and then let's have dinner at home. And then the joy a homemaker has, it's a privilege. I think homemakers are, to live a life of a homemaker is a privilege that most of us don't have.
I think this is a very new perspective.
Yeah.
Because I would, what do you say? I love what my mom used to do for us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's an amazing job. It's a thankless job. Some people say it's a thankless.
No, I don't think so.
It's an entire new perspective that you've brought up a homemaker, that homemakers can do something like
Think about it. I mean, imagine if the influence your mother has had on you. Imagine the influence your grandmother has had on you. Imagine the influence your aunts have had on you. and all of them, in all probability, have been homemakers.
Correct.
If I was none of this,
Yeah.
I was a perfect homemaker. Because I think there is nothing more challenging, you know.
Yeah.
So when I get up and I do what I do at home and then I leave for work, it's my escape mechanism, right? You're getting out of the house, you're getting to work.
Yeah.
Where does a homemaker escape?
And there's no retirement.
There's no retirement. There's no escape mechanism. So imagine what strength.
It's like in a war field, right?
And
It's
you're
like-
leading because everything you do is visible. You can't hide. You know, you can't hide. So there's no way to say, oh, I was so busy at office today, let's do takeout. I'm not, you know, or you can say that, you know what, I've not had the time to do the laundry today because I had to travel. There's no escape mechanism. And imagine the strength a homemaker should have.
Right.
Yeah. So I think if Annie was not in Forex, and if Annie was not a business owner, and if Annie was not in Bangalore, Annie was making a beautiful home and raising at least 3 kids.
3.
Yeah, because
there was an idea of 3. Then.
yeah, always. I've always wanted to have
Why
3.
did you stop at 1 then?
No, like I said, I'm not a homemaker.
Okay.
You know, I had
So
an
business
escape.
does affect your family life.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And if anybody says otherwise,
Yeah.
then that's not being true.
Okay.
Because I believe that, you know, it doesn't affect it. It affects in positive and negative ways. But then I believe that being a mother, so I want to be a mum.
Okay.
And I have through. Whether you have 3 kids or you have 1 child, you're still mother, right?
Yeah.
But my mum has 3. So I know the privilege of being
Yeah.
among 3. So I think that's
More
my
time
number.
there and-
Yeah. And
And
the
it demands a
ability-
lot of
absolutely.
attention.
It demands a lot of strength. I think.